Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for following part 1 and 2 so far of my little video series here on my project. Part 3 here is completely dedicated to this tabletop that I made from scratch. How I made it and how it turned out was I thought it really warranted its own video. I was really kind of proud. If there was one thing that I was really proud of with this project, it was this part of it. And the people who I made it for absolutely loved it as well. It turned out phenomenal. I didn't know what to expect. I was really worried about it. I didn't know what I was going to do. And it turned out better than I could have ever thought. So if you have questions that I don't really go over in my video of how I made this, please feel free to reach out. But if you're looking for to make it like a tabletop or a big stepping stone, bigger than what you can buy in the big box store, or really not just the big box store, any store. I went to Site One Supply, Ewing Irrigation, pretty much every rock and landscape thing that I could find in Southern California, and I couldn't find anything bigger than a 2x2 stone. If you are in the same boat, do what I'm doing here with this stuff. It worked out great. And let me know if you have any questions. So here we go. Hey guys, what's up? Okay, so what I got going today, you're probably wondering what the heck is going on. I'm kind of wondering the same thing. I'm trying to build a tabletop, like a big giant stepping stone basically, for the top of that light post fixture that I made. And what I've got, I'm gonna show some pictures and diagrams. I built around the existing brick because I didn't want to tear all that out. And I've got like a little hollow spot around it, and then my issue is the existing old brick is not like level, and it's not really flat, and it's higher in some spots and lower in other spots. And so what I've got to do is I've got to build up around it, because my brick layer is perfectly level and flat. I got to build up around it, and then I've got to get a tabletop that's roughly 4 feet by 4 feet. This is just under, it's gonna be like 44 by 44, so that there's a couple inch overhang on approximately 40 by 40. And nobody sells like a big giant stepping stone or a brick that's that big. Everything that I can find is like 2 foot by 2 foot. And again, I can't really like put pieces together and put like, well, why don't you just go 2 by 2 and then 2 by 2 and then 2 by 2. I can't really do that because the hollow spot in the middle, and then where it goes up, there's the different layers, so it won't layer like perfectly, it won't lay like perfectly flat. So I gotta create something. So what we got here is I've got some plastic sheeting. I built kind of a, again, this is roughly 44 by 44 because I've got 2 by 4s cut in half, or excuse me, 2 by 4 by 8s cut in half, so these pieces are 4 feet, but then you've got minus the 4 inches, so it's 44 inches. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna, I also have some chicken wire that I'm gonna show, or in this. I'm gonna fill this up with concrete. I'm gonna put the chicken wire in the middle, and then I'm gonna fill the rest up with concrete. The chicken wire is just to kind of help stabilize it and give it some support. And then we're gonna get this totally flat. We're gonna let this dry, and we're gonna hopefully create something. I have no clue if this is gonna work or not. I've never done this before. It could be a disaster, it could be perfect. We'll find out together. But here's what we got going. Let's go. All right, so I got this chicken wire here, and I've got these bags of concretes on this because I'm just trying to flatten this out. It was like all rolled up, and so it's kind of really stringy. And what I'm gonna need to do is I'm gonna put this PVC pipe 2 inches in the dead center of the thing. That's gonna create a hole that's going to allow my electrical wires to go through. So I'm gonna have to cut a little circle thing around where the middle is. There's 2 pieces here. These are 2 feet wide, so I basically had to kind of overlap them a little bit because they didn't sell like a 4 foot wide roll. All right, excuse the shoes. The shoes are just trying to keep this down and flat because it still wants to curl up. We got this PVC pipe smack dead here in the center here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the chicken wire around it to create a hole. I'm gonna spray some WD-40 here in the middle of this so that kind of helps lubricate this a little bit so that the concrete doesn't quite adhere to it as much when I'm trying to get this out. I don't even know how much concrete I need. I got 2 bags in here right now mixed up, so here we go. Here goes nothing. I'm kind of hoping these first 2 bags like get down the top layer, or the bottom layer, and then I can kind of put the chicken wire down, and then I'll make a couple more layers. I'm getting a little bit closer to where I have a really crappy wheelbarrow. This isn't my good wheelbarrow. This is my old one that I had because my other one's at the job site. So I'm working with a flat tire and a crooked wheelbarrow here. See if I can kind of dump this out a little bit. Might actually be good. Kind of spread this out here. Hey, that looks like it was roughly half of it. It's not perfectly spread. Hopefully this stays in here. The post ends up directly in the center. Kind of hoping that would stick to the concrete a little bit more, but it should kind of flatten out as I put another layer in there. "22" there. Should be 22 inches. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and mix up some more concrete. Okay, I forgot to restart the video, but I mixed up one more bag here. Kind of spread this around. All right, this 4th bag I mixed is a little soupy, a little wet. I kind of wanted it to be a little extra wet to try to be able to smooth some stuff out. Not that I know what I'm doing, but all right, so again, this is about as amateur of a job as an amateur can do. So I'm kind of in between, like, I'm assuming this is going to be the bottom of the table and the back side of it's going to be the top, but my problem is I was planning on putting these little concrete anchors in there. But what I'll probably do is just drill some holes later on once this is kind of done. I think that's going to be better off. All right, so I've been thinking about this a lot, and I don't have the answer to this question, but how in the hell am I gonna pick that thing up? Obviously I'm not gonna do it by myself. That thing's gonna be really heavy. I'm gonna have to flip it up. The bottom end of this is gonna end up being the top side of the table, because obviously that's gonna be more smooth on the bottom half. Yeah, I mean, I just, my whole prayer is that I can get this to the job site and get this secured onto the bricks without busting the hell out of it, or, well, without cracking it at all, really. So yeah, I don't know. This is gonna be, you know, an adventure. I'm not really sure what to expect. A little bit nervous. But yeah, there it is. I'm gonna call this the finished product. I'm gonna let this just sit for a couple days. Luckily my wife's gone backpacking, so she doesn't need to park in the driveway. Yeah, here we go. I'll update you guys in a couple days. All right, I'm freaking stoked. Here we are. It's Sunday. I let this thing sit for a few days. This thing turned out phenomenal. This is the bottom side of it. And what I basically had to do, I didn't get any footage of it, but I had to get this thing off the ground, which was a pain in the butt. I wish I would have videoed. I wasn't even thinking of it. I had to get this pry bar and like chisel this underneath it and kind of like lift it up a little bit. And then I was able to get a dolly underneath the thing. And then once I did that, I was able to flip it. This thing is super heavy. I don't want to put a weight on it because I'd just be guessing, but it's super heavy. I'm gonna have to probably cut this out here. This is the top side where I kind of poke that thing through. But I'm like super stoked on. One second. Oh, I don't want to smash that wire. Super stoked with how this thing's turned out. It's got a nice smooth texture. It's got a little bit of personality, I guess would be a good way to put it. Some little grooves and, you know, characteristics, I guess would be a good way to put it. I'm really excited about the way this thing turned out. No way I'm getting this into my truck by myself. Probably gonna take a couple people, but I don't need to move it tonight. But just wanted to give you guys the update on that. Really excited about how that's turned out so far. All right, just taking a minute to kind of update you on this light post here now that it's all done. Kind of took a break from that, took a break from the turf part, had a buddy help me put the slab on here, put the light post all together. That's a beautiful light post. I did not pick that out. Really happy with this. Really happy with the way that it turned out. The homeowners loved it too. They loved the texture and the different characteristics of it. So it kind of warms my heart that turned out really good. And